So, hi. This morning, I got very much distracted by the annoyance of my children's school, or my children, my daughter's high school, previous video, whatever. But also this morning, like I know why that irritant popped up, definitely from the enemy. And still, no one has commented about where I should look. Will you people please tell me? I guess I could Google, but I don't feel like it. Like somebody just tell me, look here at myself, or look up here in this thingy. But anyway, God is so wonderful. I know God by the name Yahweh, Jehovah. Jesus is his son, Yeshua. So that's my personal opinion. I am a believer. If you're not, then perhaps you may not want to watch. I don't know. But last night, I was feeling very tender in a way of feeling alone. Because, or maybe you don't know, I don't know what I've said here, but I left my corporate job to start a business with my business partner. That was literally July 25th, I think, of this year, 2024. This is now September, and our business has already veered and switched courses a little bit, which I just remembered I'm supposed to have. I might be supposed to be on a Zoom right now. Get on your Zoom. Literally, I did this business cohort with the Small Business and Technology Development Center that partners with the University of North Carolina systems. And I graduated the class. It was a 4-week cohort, and I was supposed to have an hour visit about the business just to make sure our funding is good, our things are good. It starts at 1:30. I don't even know what time it is, child. But I'm not about to deter this video because I've been being deterred from making this video to give God his thanks or give my thanks to God, whatever it is, because I asked him last night, like, please, I need a hug, bro. I need a hug. I'm out here. I'm being a strong, independent woman. These kids, I'm here for my children. I'm doing the mommy thing I ain't never done before. Can you please just give me a hug? Come to me in my dreams, even if it's not you. Send somebody in my dreams and give me one of the best hugs and tell me I'm doing okay. And so I wake up this morning. I have to get up at 5:30 to start my day for all the kids and the buses. I ain't had no dreams. I was like, you know. But then, as I usually do, I definitely got back into bed. As soon as that last bus pickup came, I got 2 buses that come to my house for my kids. First one is at 6:15, last one is at 6:45. So 7 o'clock, I'm back in the sheets. Do you know I didn't wake up until 11 o'clock this morning? And can I tell you, once I realized I dreamt, because first thing, I haven't been dreaming in I don't know how long, which is real weird. And maybe it's not weird. I don't know. Tangent. So, as a child, when I had dreams, they would always be extremely realistic. It was never a fantasy kind of deal. It was like people I knew, places I had seen, things of that nature, and they would come true. If I dreamt, it was something realistic that would always come true. It got to a point where, as a teenager, just to make sure I wasn't going insane, I had a diary and I would try to write it down. I would get into dream interpretation and some more stuff. And deja vu was real strong in this one way back in the day. But then I, as an adult, had very traumatic situations and my dreams shifted. After my trauma, my dreams were straight something was always trying to kill me. Something was always trying to kill me. Something was always trying to murder me. Like, and it was never realistic ever. Like, I had dragons breathing fire running after me. I would be on ships in the middle of the ocean with these big ass waves. I'm trying to work on cussing. And be like almost drowning. I would be on top of the New York Empire State Building and being pushed off and waking up right before I hit the ground. Child, would be so much weird stuff. Being in submarines and somebody's coming after me. Being in these big old apartment type complexes and somebody's hunting me down trying to shoot after me. I went through that for like a decade of just, I guess, nightmares. And I had spoken to this prophet out of California. Don't even remember how we got in touch with each other, But he was like, that's the enemy coming after you. But that's cool. After today, you won't have those dreams anymore. And I poop you not. I never had another nightmare like that since that day. That was years ago. Very thankful. Don't know what happened. I guess it was the acknowledgement of the enemy's attack or something. I don't know. But also, since that day, just generally speaking, I don't remember my dreams. If I'm dreaming, I don't know it because I don't remember nothing. So the fact that I had a dream, it very much was giving super long, duper long dream. Yeah, I'm always so gross. It didn't start out this way. Anyway, deal with it. Yeah, I had a dream. And as I'm playing back the dream and remembering what happened in the dream, there were guns and there were people. They weren't coming after me. I was just a bystander in my car trying to go about my way, leaving an event. But at the event we were at, it was a long time friend. We went to school together, went to church together. Her name is Hill. And I absolutely love Hill. And I used to make so much fun of her because she was like higher yellow than high yellow. I used to call her opaque during school all the time, and that's so colorist. But I'm an 80s baby. We grew up back then. It wasn't such a thing. I know it's a thing today, and I feel bad about it. And I've always wanted to apologize to her for calling her opaque literally our entire time in school. I'm sorry, Hill. But she was in my dream, y'all. And not only, I'm going to try not to cry, not only was it so impactful that she was the one in my dream, but when I tell you she gave me the biggest effing hug ever, she gave me a hug that literally right now I can feel. And so my God was faithful. He was faithful. He knew the desires of my heart. And what's giving you a dream for a hug? That's not too much for God to do. There's nothing too much for God to do. He made the whole everything. Oh my God, he can rearrange all these molecules and make a pillar of sand pop up in front of me if he really wanted to. Like, what's a dream? And I get emotional because legitimately I needed a hug. And the hug even lasted. I remember it very distinctly. The smile on her face, her hair being pushed back like she always have it, and like a little bun slicked back. And we hugged, and then we handshaked and hand tapped, and then we hugged again, and then we were laughing and smiling at each other, and we hugged again. Like, it was so nice. It was so nice. And there were definitely a lot of honorable mentions of people that I enjoyed in my past, like Cordia Nettles, another chick from school. She was in there, and it's been I've been out of school for a long time. I'm 40. But there are certain people in my life that I hold a little more dear than others because I guess we're nice. And me and Ikea, we really were like friends. And I miss her. I haven't seen her since school. But yeah, I just want to be a testimony to how real God is. And he gonna do it, sis. He gonna do it. And then even this morning, speaking with my cousin on the phone about how God gave us a free cruise. Because we took a cruise as a family in February of this year, right? And it was out of South Carolina port. That's the first time I've ever cruised out of a South Carolina port. Absolutely the last time. And I completely understand why Carnival is no longer going to be using that port because it's trash. Usually I've gone out of like Miami. Miami is the biggest port, the typical port. And sometimes like Fort Lauderdale. Is Orlando one? I don't know. One of them other ones. Maybe once or twice I've cruised out of there, but mostly Miami. And I've been on several many cruises. But this one out of South Carolina was trash, bro. But we did it, and I was excited about it because my granny, who's never been on a cruise before, I think she's in her 90s. I don't know. I'm 40. So my mother is 70-something. So yeah, my granny's probably in her 90s. And she doesn't fly. She will not fly, but she could be driven to South Carolina. And this is in February, so South Carolina was a lot colder than I'm sure Miami was in February of 2024. It rained the entire time at the port. There was no like traditional place where you check in. It was like, I don't know. You know how you go to Miami, you walk in the building, you go through customs, you go through carnival, you get on the boat. You're all in a building, you're always covered. It was not like that in South Carolina. We had to go to one building where the parking lot and the walk to that first building was ridiculous, and all it was flooded. The parking lot was flooded. So we get to the first building and then we have to leave that building and go to a whole nother building. And it was just miserable. Everybody was wet. My daughter was crying because her socks were wet, her shoes were wet. She didn't want to walk. She's 5, but sis does not weigh 5 pounds. Let me just put it like that. Sis is thick. So she wanted to be carried the whole time. We got the stuff that we're carrying onto the ship that we didn't check in. Girl, it was a thing. And on the cruise, I guess even leaving out of South Carolina as we're traveling, it was cold. Like that is the first time I've had like a wintertime cruise where it's been cold, because usually out of Miami, it's still hot. It feels good. Most cruises I take are October, November, December, somewhere around there. And even though the weather might be like freezing up here in North Carolina, it's not freezing in Florida or in the Caribbean. So that whole week was miserable. Everybody was sick. My kids were sick, snotty nose. Even my poor granny, she was getting sick because the heater wasn't working in their room and Carnival didn't want to fix it. So it's freezing cold and my poor granny ain't got no heat. And then by the time we got to the Caribbean, when it's hot, the AC wasn't working either. So now she's sweating balls and can't get no AC. 7 days of this, bro. So when we got off that cruise, I'm talking to God. I'm like, look, this was supposed to be my vacation. It won't give in vacation vibes. And even though it was a whole family thing, I took my kids, all of them. I had to mom a little more than I anticipated, because I went on that trip as a woman who wanted to vacation, who just happened to have little people with her. But no, I had to mother the entire time. Camp Carnival, God bless you, but also they were sick, so a lot of times they couldn't go, which means I had to be in the room with them, or it worked out, but also it was not giving vacation. I complained, I murmured, I did all the things. I'm begging God, like, bro, can you make something shake? Please, I need a trip, I need a vacation. And do you know, I think it was like less than 2 or 3 weeks later, my cousin won a free cruise. And she invited me. A free cruise, y'all. A free 1-week cruise on Royal Caribbean to the Caribbean. And not just any cruise. It was a Tom Joyner, whatchamacallit, cruise. And I know people who have been on that Tom Joyner cruise in prior years are like, oh, it's really gone downhill and it sucks. But for someone like me who was looking forward, like, I love music, number 1, love free, number 2, love cruising, number 3. So I'm happy, I'm satisfied. And the sucky cruise was in February. This follow-up free cruise on the Tom Joyner, whatever, blah, 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 was at the end of April. So the turnaround wasn't even that bad, bro. And it was for a week. And it was to some of my favorite ports. Well, at least Turks and Caicos. Which even that, I feel like, was God working it out. Because we were supposed to go to Haiti. And Haiti was having some unrest. At the time, at my corporate job, there's somebody who was from, I don't know where he's from, Jamaica or something like that. He's telling me how all this stuff is going down in Haiti. But he's like, they ain't reporting it on the news. Like, a whole bunch of prisoners had got out. He's like, don't go to Haiti. Don't go to Haiti. When I told him that the cruise was going to Haiti and we were leaving in a couple of weeks, he's like, no, don't go to Haiti. Don't go to Haiti. And I'm like, dang, well, hopefully they'll replace the port. And I remember speaking to my cousin about it after having that conversation with him. I was like, ooh, what if they replace it with Turks and Caicos? Because, girl, I love Turks and Caicos. And then sure enough, guess what they ended up doing? well, I think like 2 or 3 weeks before our cruise, they confirmed that Haiti would be replaced with Turks and Caicos. Tell me God didn't do that for me. Tell me God didn't do that for me. I double dog dare you, because he did it just for me. Just like he gave me that hug in the dream. And I hope I never forget it. And I hope that this is some kind of testament to y'all to just like, God is real. He's so real. What Jesus did for us is so real. Like, people, I'll probably make another video about it because don't nobody got the attention span to watch this. I'm sure nobody is seeing this, but also this is my video journey, so it doesn't matter. But people have different viewpoints on God, right? Religion has really fucked a lot of us up. It fucked me up. I have religious trauma. But a relationship with God is not religious. It is a relationship with a thing, a person. He's bigger than a person. He's bigger than a thing. Oh my God, that's so gross. But like, if I have a relationship with you, I'm not getting another party involved. That's like, I want to be in love with you, and so you and I are talking all the time, but in order for us to talk, I have to call a mediator or something. I have to call a judge or something. I have to call this stranger that I don't know and be like, hey, stranger XYZ, I would really like to call my lover right now and speak to them. And then they tell me if I can, if I can't. I don't know if this analogy is working. It's not really giving for real. But I hope you get the point. That, to me, that's religion. Religion had me thinking that God hated my sin, hated me, that all of my shame, all of my guilt was warranted, and I was not good enough to be loved by God. And if I needed God, it had to be something super duper duper serious. Like, I need to be about to die. Somebody needs to be about to die. We're on our deathbeds. I can only come to God in a super serial situation. And that kept me away from God for way too long. Like, I appreciate the fact that Jehovah loves me so much. And he loves all of us so much. Literally in the Bible, Jesus says how we leave the 99, or they leave the 99 to go get the one. Because the 99 who are with the flock, they're good. They're taken care of. They go to get the one. Because the one that's gone, they care. And I think Jesus even said, I'm trying to get into the Bible, y'all. I'm reading it or having it read to me through YouTube. Love it. But he's like, he was telling his apostles how he came for the sinners, not for the righteous. So I don't know if that hits for anybody. I ain't gonna go into details right now because I gotta check the time and see if I'm supposed to be on this video with this lady. But it's God is real, y'all. And if you have kids, if you're a parent, you know how your kids be asking you for stuff and you do it, even if you don't want to. Like, you be doing it. Like, if your kid asks you for a fish, you don't go and get your kid a box. Or if your kid asks you for a toy car, you don't go and get your kid a tree. Like, if your kid asks you for something and you're capable of providing it, you're going to provide that thing, right? I also saw another analogy. I read it recently where a child that you've told not to play too close to the road, okay? You done told them, don't play too close to the road. And then they do it again anyway. So now, as a parent, you take that kid, tell them lay down in the road, and then you drive over their legs with the car to teach them not to be playing so close to the road. Because this is what can happen to you, and I'm going to do it to you so you can see what it feels like. Like, nobody's going to do that. What? That's child abuse. Like, if you're telling your kid, don't lay in the street, but they do it anyway. Oh, not lay in the street. Don't play by the street, and they do it anyway. So you're going to drive over their legs with your car to break them as punishment? Like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. That analogy is for God. God is not the kind of parent to hurt us or purposefully cause us pain. Like, ain't nobody going to do that to their kid. That's, like I said, that's child abuse. That's asinine. But that's literally how people think God is, that he causes us pain, purposefully create situations that hurt us. Like, no, it's stupid. That's the enemy. But religion sometimes will have you think that. And even if it's not religion, it could be other people's beliefs. Or maybe you just haven't gotten to experience the realness and the love that Jehovah God really desires to give us all the time. And he says it in the Bible a billion times. And Jesus confirms it in the Bible a billion times. I'm exaggerating on the number. I don't know the real number, but it's a lot. So anyway, that was my tangent of God's love, at least one of them, because I like it a lot. I really, really appreciated that, and I needed that. And Jehovah knows the desires of our heart, and he wants to give them to us. Just like he knows the desire I have to not come on here sometimes and be gross with my lips. But like I say, ain't nobody gonna see it, so we could be very non-mindful, we can be very non-cutesy, we can be very non-demure, and it'll be all right. Until next time.